Welcome to this deep dive. We're looking at a stack of sources today, and they explore something pretty unexpected.
Hmm.
These striking connections between, ancient religious ideas about the end times
Right, eschatology.
and these very modern predictions about the technological singularity.
Yeah, it seems like worlds apart, but the structures, they're surprisingly similar.
Exactly. So our mission here is to kind of unpack these sources, pull out the core insights about why humans across totally different times and belief systems seem to frame these huge future transformations in, well, really similar ways.
It's like there's a fundamental way we process massive change, isn't it? Whether it's seen as divine or, technological.
That's the core question, I think.
Mhm.
So let's start with the ancient side. Religious eschatology, the doctrine of the last thing,
Right, not just endings, but ultimate destinies, judgment, maybe a new beginning.
and often central to this is a figure like a messiah or a redeemer.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone expected to come and fix things, usher in a better age. Our sources mention lots of examples.
Like,
Well, the Jewish Mashiach, the Christian Christ, Islam's Mahdi. You've got Kalki in Hinduism, Maitreya in Buddhism. Different figures, but a similar role, agents of transformation.
and the sources point out this common story arc too, right? It's usually not smooth sailing.
No, definitely not. Often there's this preceding crisis, tribulation, things falling apart, moral decay.
Before the big irreversible change happens, the new perfected age, peace, justice, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And that narrative structure, it provides meaning, maybe hope, especially when things are chaotic. It frames suffering within a larger story.
Okay, so hold that thought. Now let's jump to the modern view. The technological singularity,
Yep.
totally secular concept, right? Comes out of tech and futurology.
Yeah, it's defined as this point of uncontrollable and irreversible technological growth, mostly tied to AI accelerating like crazy.
Werner Vinge, Ray Kurzweil,
Mm.
they're the big names.
Yeah,
Kurzweil predicts it around, what, 2045?
that's the commonly cited date. Yeah. And the trigger is supposedly the arrival of superintelligence.
AGI, or ASI, an AI that gets smart enough to start improving itself.
Leading to recursive self-improvement, an intelligence explosion that just spirals beyond our grasp.
And the potential outcomes are presented as, well, polar opposites.
Completely. Either it's utopian, we solve aging, poverty, climate change, maybe even, digital immortality.
Or it's dystopian existential risk, humans lose control, society gets completely disrupted. Total chaos.
And this ties into transhumanism too, doesn't it? Using tech to overcome our biological limits.
Right? Radical enhancement may be merging with the tech itself.
Mm.
It's often framed as the path towards, or maybe through, that singularity state.
Which brings us back to the core puzzle in these sources. How can ancient prophecy and future tech speculation end up looking so similar?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. The parallels your sources highlight are, well, they're uncanny.
Okay, so let's list them. You've got the transformative agent, right?
Messiah figure versus superintelligent AI.
Hmm.
Both expected to fundamentally remake the world.
Then there's the crisis beforehand, tribulation and decline.
Versus the societal disruption and risks as we approach the singularity. Check.
The transformation itself is seen as radical, irreversible, an end of history or new creation.
Versus the singularity as this total rupture in human history.
Yeah.
A point you can't go back from.
And the vision of what comes after, a golden age, paradise,
Or a post-singularity utopia, again, structurally similar.
even transcending human limits, resurrection, eternal life.
Versus tech enhancement, mind uploading, digital immortality.
And maybe subtly, this idea of separation. The righteous are saved.
Versus maybe those who adapt or merge with technology versus those who can't or won't.
Looking at it like this, you really see how these narratives, old and new, might be tapping into the same deep human responses to the unknown future.
And both definitely stir up powerful feelings, faith, hope, but also a lot of fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the deeper meaning here? Some scholars in your sources actually frame the singularity talk as a kind of secularized eschatology.
Or even like a search for a new kind of religion, one that fits with the scientific worldview. It forces these huge questions, right?
Like what?
Well, if humans create superintelligence, what does that say about creation? Is the singularity an apocalypse in the old sense an unveiling? Is tech immortality a type of salvation? What about consciousness, the soul?
It suggests we just have this fundamental need for grand stories about where we're ultimately heading, doesn't it? Whether the story comes from God or from code.
I think that's a key takeaway.
So wrapping this up, what do these echoes really tell us? It seems like, regardless of the source in ancient texts or future tech forecasts, we humans tend to use these very similar story structures to think about profound change.
Yeah, these patterns probably reveal a lot about our own hopes, our fears, and just that basic human need for meaning when we look at the vast, unknown future.
It certainly underlines why we need critical thinking and ethical reflection as we navigate whatever changes are coming, right? Whether they're driven by faith or by microchips.
Absolutely crucial.
Which leaves you with a final thought to chew on. Do these recurring stories tell us more about how our minds work when faced with the idea of ultimate transformation? Or do they actually hint at the real shape of what's to come? Something to think about.